My dear precious soul, when the night falls heavy and the stars seem to dim behind the thick curtain of worry, I want you to remember this. You were not born to carry the weight of the world upon your shoulders. You were not shaped by God's own hands just to tremble at the foot of fear. No, darling heart, you were fashioned in glory. You were spoken into being by a voice that sang over chaos and called forth light. So stop your worrying. Yes, I said it. Stop pacing holes into the floor of your soul. Stop chewing your nails down to the bone of anxiety. Stop borrowing trouble from tomorrow when God is already there waiting with answers. You see, worry is a thief. It robs you of today while offering nothing for tomorrow. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you that you must figure it all out, fix it all, carry it all. But God, ah yes, God, He is the one who knows your beginning and your end, and He has not left you to wander blindfolded through this world. Let God lead you. Oh, my dear heart, how long will you sit on the edge of your bed, staring into the silence, trying to untangle the threads of worry from the fabric of your soul? How long will you press your palms together, not in prayer, but in restless anxiety, as if the sheer force of your concern can rearrange the heavens? I've seen it, child. I've lived it too. Worry is a sly thief. It creeps in during the midnight hours and settles in your chest like an uninvited guest, refusing to leave even when the sun rises. You see, worry is not your companion. It is your captor. It shackles your thoughts, it dims your joy, and it buries your peace beneath a pile of what-ifs. What if I don't make it? What if I lose everything? What if I never find love? What if the answer never comes? And with each what if, your spirit sinks lower, your breath grows shorter, and the beautiful song God wrote into your soul begins to falter. But let me tell you something true and eternal. God did not design you to live in that place. You were not crafted to carry a burden that was never yours to bear. The one who shaped you from dust and breathed His very spirit into you, He is not intimidated by your storm. While you sit there wringing your hands and pacing your prayers like anxious footsteps, He is seated on the throne, calm, unmoved, and ever faithful. I know it feels like you must worry, like it's your duty to hold the pieces of your life together with the thread of your thoughts. But hear me. Worry cannot build a bridge to tomorrow. Worry cannot pay the bills, heal the sickness, fix the marriage, or calm the winds. It can only steal your strength today. And isn't that just like the enemy of your peace? To distract you with lies while your blessings wait on the other side of trust? To convince you that your life is unraveling when it's really being woven into something divine? You sit there in the ashes of fear when all along God has prepared a garment of praise for you to wear instead. Oh, how He watches you, child, how He longs for you to lift your head, to unclench your fists, to stop trying to fight battles with worry that were never meant to be fought by you. You are His beloved, and the God who parts seas, the God who moves mountains, the God who shuts the mouths of lions. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Do you know what that means? It means He already knows your tomorrow. While you're tangled in uncertainty, He has already stepped into the next hour, the next day, the next decade. He's been there, child, and He's come back with peace in His hands, ready to hand it to you if you'd only let go of worry long enough to receive it. What good has worry ever brought you? Has it made you sleep sweeter? Has it softened your relationships? Has it healed the wounds of your heart? No, it has only multiplied your burdens, adding shadows where light could have lived. But when you lift your hands and say, Lord, I surrender this, the heavens shift. The angels lean close, and the very atmosphere around you begins to change. You must choose, child, which master you will serve, faith or fear. You can't carry both. One will silence your joy. The other will open your mouth in praise, even in the valley. One will age your spirit before its time. The other will renew you like the morning dew on parched ground. So many of us spend our days planting seeds of anxiety and then wonder why peace doesn't bloom. But peace cannot grow in the soil of worry. You must uproot it. You must speak against it. Say aloud, "Worry, you have no place in me. God is still God, and I trust Him." Oh, when you speak that, the chains fall. You begin to walk lighter, think clearer, breathe deeper. And when people ask you how you're still standing, how you're still smiling, how you're still loving despite it all, you'll say, "Because I stopped worrying and I let God lead." Don't you see, darling? God has been waiting for you to let go. He's been watching you wear yourself thin, trying to fix what only He can redeem. And while you cried yourself to sleep, He was preparing a breakthrough with your name carved into it. Worry robs, but trust restores. Worry stifles, but faith breathes life. Worry blinds, but God opens eyes to beauty, even in broken places. You were not meant to live in a state of emergency. You were created for peace. That peace doesn't come from having every answer. It comes from knowing the one who holds every answer. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step, trusting the hand that guides you. So breathe, sweet soul. Sit still for a moment and feel the nearness of God. He's not distant. He's closer than your breath, closer than your fears. He is whispering to your weary heart, "Be still and know that I am God." Let that knowing settle into your bones. Let it quiet the questions. Let it soothe the ache. And when the morning light touches your window, wake up and remember, you don't have to worry anymore. Your future is already in God's hands, and He has never, ever lost a battle. Let Him lead you. Let Him love you. Let Him lift the weight you were never meant to carry. And watch, child. Watch how peace floods in like a river, washing away every fear, every doubt, every storm, until all that's left is the beautiful truth. God is in control, and you are free. My precious one, come close now. Sit with me for a while and breathe deep. I want to tell you something sacred, something fierce and beautiful. You see, the world may try to tell you that surrender is a weakness, that letting go, that releasing the reins, that saying, "I can't do this by myself," is a form of defeat. But that, my dear, is a lie straight from the pit of fear. For in truth, to surrender is to rise. To let go is not to lose. It is to trust. And trust, child, trust is a holy kind of strength. I know how hard it is. I know what it feels like to cling to things you cannot control, as if your grip alone will stop the sky from falling. I know the weariness of trying to hold the whole world in your two small hands. I know the ache of sleepless nights and heavy thoughts, the kind that settle into your bones like winter. But let me whisper this truth to your soul. You were never created to carry what God intends to hold. You see, faith is not built on understanding. It is not built on answers or explanations. Faith stands on the invisible, the quiet whisper that says, "Even now I still believe." Faith dares to walk when the road disappears. It dares to lift its eyes when all it sees is darkness. It dares to hand over the pen and say, "God, you write the story." Now that. Oh yes, that is courage. Don't let this world fool you. It shouts about strength like it's a solitary striving. But God's kind of strength looks different. It looks like kneeling in the dust with tears on your cheeks and still saying, "Thy will be done." It looks like opening your palms wide, releasing every fear, every plan, every burden. It looks like surrender, and surrender, beloved, is not giving up. It is giving over. To surrender is to say, God, you are greater than my worry. You are wiser than my plans. You are stronger than my fears. And I will not be moved by what I see. I will be led by what I know of you. Ah, there is power in that kind of release. There is a peace that flows in when you no longer feel the need to figure it all out. When you stop trying to manipulate, to fix, to force, and instead allow the divine current of God's grace to carry you forward. You see, when you surrender, you stop striving and start trusting. And trust is the very heartbeat of faith. You don't need to have all the answers to trust the one who does. You don't need to see the whole picture to know the artist is good. You don't need to understand the storm to know the anchor holds. Too many of us are tired, not from the work of life, but from the worry of life. We wear ourselves out trying to keep things in order, trying to stay one step ahead of disaster, trying to protect ourselves from disappointment. But sweet soul, that is not living, that is surviving, and you were not born just to survive. You were born to walk in the fullness of God's freedom. Letting go doesn't make you weak. It means you finally trust that God is strong enough. It means you're ready to trade control for peace. You're ready to step back and say, Lord, lead me where you will. I trust your heart, even when I can't trace your hand. Oh, what joy awaits the one who surrenders. What light bursts forth when we finally stop wrestling and start resting. Because when you place your life in God's hands, you're not losing control. You're placing it into the only hands that ever had any control to begin with. Surrender is holy ground. It is the place where fear meets faith. It is the altar where anxiety dies and peace is born. It is the sacred soil where God begins to grow things beyond your wildest imagining. But it will cost you. Yes, it will. You will have to let go of your timeline. You will have to release the illusion that you can do it all. You will have to surrender your pride, your doubt, your fear of the unknown. But what you gain in return, oh child, you gain rest, you gain freedom, you gain the sweet, sweet assurance that you are held. You don't have to know it all to be led by the one who does. You don't have to be brave every second of the day. Just long enough to let go. You don't have to carry it all. You only have to carry the trust. And when you do, when you truly lay it down, you will find that God doesn't just take the burden. He lifts you too. He raises your weary spirit. He steadies your trembling soul. He whispers over you, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still, dear one. The world may call it weakness, but heaven calls it worship. The world may call it foolish, but the kingdom calls it faith. The world may mock your trust, but the angels rejoice in your surrender. So let the tears fall if they must. Let the plans unravel if they will. Let the fear rise and then fade like morning fog beneath the light of God's love. You are not forsaken. You are not abandoned. You are seen. You are held. And when you surrender, truly surrender, you will rise not with your own strength, but with strength borrowed from heaven. You will rise with the peace of God resting on your shoulders like a mantle. You will rise with your head high, not because you have it all together, but because you've placed it all into hands that never fail. So let go, sweet soul. Let go of the weight, the worry, the fear, the pride, the striving. And in that sacred release, you will find that God has been waiting all along, with grace wide as the sky, love deep as the ocean, and strength enough to carry you the rest of the way home. There is a rhythm, child, a rhythm to God's love, to His guidance, to the way He moves His children from the valleys to the mountaintops. And when He leads, He doesn't lead with a shout. No, He doesn't bark commands like a master to a servant. He calls softly, like a mother whispering to her baby. He speaks in that holy hush, the kind you only hear when you turn down the noise of your own panic. He guides gently like a shepherd with his lambs, like the wind stirring the leaves, quiet but sure. Too many of us are looking for signs that flash in the sky. We want fireworks, bright neon words that spell out great opportunity. But God, oh my sweet one, God leads with peace. He leads with stillness. He leads with the warmth that wraps around your shoulders just when you're about to collapse. He doesn't need to shout because his presence is enough. His peace is the compass. Have you ever been in a place where everything looked right on the outside but didn't sit right on the inside? That's the Spirit telling you, no, not here. And have you ever stepped out on nothing, unsure and trembling, only to feel a calm you didn't understand wrap around you like a song? That's the Spirit saying, yes, child, this way. That's how God leads. He does not shove you through doors you're not ready to walk through. He does not drive you like a slave to a burden. He invites, he beckons, he opens paths in places where it looked like nothing could grow. He makes a way through the wilderness and streams in the dry land. He walks with you one step at a time, never too fast, never too slow, just in time. But child, to be led, you must follow, and to follow, you must trust. You must quiet the fear that screams for attention. You must hush the voice that says, I'll figure this out myself. You must lay down your need to always know, always control, always plan. Because faith, darling, is not a roadmap. It's a relationship. It's not a GPS. It's a guide. And our God, He is not just a guide. He is the destination too. When He leads with purpose. He does not wander and He does not guess. He knows where you're going, even when you don't. He sees the end from the beginning. He knows the turns before you take them. And even when you stumble, even when you take the wrong turn, He has already prepared a detour that brings you right back to grace. Oh, what a gift it is to be led by God. What a mercy it is to be in His hands. There are moments, child, when the path will narrow, when the lights will dim, and the voices of the world will rise. But do not be afraid. That is when His presence becomes even more tender. That is when He draws closer. The enemy might try to convince you that you're alone, but your soul knows better. Your spirit remembers that you were never abandoned, not for a moment. Even in the silence, God was speaking. Even in the shadows, God was guiding. He leads with peace. Not the world's kind of peace that depends on everything going right, but His kind of peace that flows even when nothing makes sense. Peace that whispers, you're safe. Peace that says, I've got you. Peace that holds you steady while the storm tries to make you run. Have you ever noticed how Jesus never rushed? Not once did He panic. Not once did He run frantically from town to town. He walked. He took His time. He was always in step with the Father. That's the pace of heaven, steady, sure, full of grace. And if we are to walk with God, we must walk in His rhythm, not our own. So many people today are running not toward purpose, but away from fear. They are chasing things that don't feed their soul. They're moving fast, but they're not going anywhere that matters. Because movement without direction is just noise. And God does not deal in chaos. He deals in clarity. He deals in truth. He deals in love. When God leads you, child, He leads you to peace, not pressure. He leads you to joy, not anxiety. He leads you to places where your spirit grows, where your heart softens, where your purpose unfolds. But you must be still enough to hear Him. You must be quiet enough to recognize His hand in the ordinary. He may speak through a verse, a voice, a dream, a door closing, a door opening. He may move through the wind or the whisper, but He always moves with love. Always. When you let God lead you, you learn to rest even when you don't understand. You learn to wait without becoming bitter. You learn to walk even when your feet tremble, because your faith is not in the ground. It is in the one who walks beside you. Let me tell you something sacred. God will never lead you where His grace won't keep you. He won't take you into the wilderness and abandon you. He won't take you through fire and let you be consumed. He won't lead you to the Red Sea without parting it. He is too good to leave you. He is too wise to mislead you. And He is too loving to ignore you. So walk, dear one, with your head lifted and your heart open. Don't rush. Don't drag your feet. Don't try to run ahead. Walk with Him step by step, breath by breath. You don't need to know the whole path. You only need to take the next faithful step, and then the next, and the next. He will light the way. He always does. And when you look back, you'll see it. You'll see the gentle fingerprints of a Father who never let you go. You'll see the places He carried you. You'll see the doors He shut to protect you and the ones He opened to bless you. You'll see the path He paved just for you. So let God lead you. Let Him chart the course. Let Him be the captain of your soul. There is no safer place than in His will, and there is no greater journey than the one that begins with, "Yes, Lord, I will follow you." Oh, beloved child, how often do you sit in silence wondering if you've been forgotten? How many times have you looked up at the heavens and whispered, "Do you still see me, Lord? Do you still know my name?" I feel that ache, deep, deep and ancient. The ache of a soul stretched thin by waiting, by hoping, by walking through days that feel unseen, unheard, untouched by the divine. But I tell you now, with the firmness of truth and the softness of grace, God has not forgotten you. He has not turned His face away. He has not misplaced your prayers, nor has He overlooked the tears that have fallen in the quiet of night. Every sigh that escaped your lips, every prayer whispered with trembling breath, every cry that no one else heard, He heard them all, and not one has gone unnoticed. You are not just a number in the crowd. You are not just another voice in the choir of needs. You are His creation, His beloved, formed by His hand, known by His Spirit, held in His heart. Oh yes, the world may pass you by. People may forget your birthday. Friends may disappear when the storm rolls in. Family may fail to call, fail to care, fail to show up. But not God, never God. For while you were being knit in your mother's womb, He was already writing your name in the palm of His hand. And the God who calls every star by name, He surely has not forgotten yours. You see, child, we live in a world that moves too fast and sees too little. A world that celebrates the loud and overlooks the quiet. A world that rewards the visible and forgets the hidden. But God, He lives in the stillness. He moves in the unseen. He honors the quiet places, the sacred waiting, the quiet faith that whispers, "I still believe," even when all evidence says not to. So don't you believe for a second that your waiting means you're being ignored. Don't confuse silence with absence. Just because God isn't loud right now doesn't mean He isn't working. Just because He hasn't spoken yet doesn't mean He's stopped listening. Sometimes the most holy thing God can do is wait with you. Sometimes He sits beside you in the darkness, not rushing to fix things, but holding space for your soul to breathe. Sometimes He hides you in the cleft of the rock, not to punish you, but to protect you. Sometimes He delays, not because He's forgotten you, but because He loves you too much to let you settle for less than what He's planned. Yes, child, the delay is not denial. The waiting is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is protection. It is the space in which your roots go deep and your faith grows strong. Oh, I know it doesn't feel like that when you're in the middle of it. I know how the silence can scream and the unanswered prayers can wound, but I also know the God who has never broken a promise. I know the God who counts your tears and bottles them like perfume. I know the God who weeps when you weep and rejoices when you rise, and I want you to know him too. I want you to feel his hand on your back when the world turns its own. I want you to hear his whisper when fear tells you you're alone. I want you to remember that no matter how long you've been waiting, no matter how far you've wandered, no matter how heavy the burden, he is still here, still watching, still caring, still calling you his own. So don't let the world tell you that being unseen is the same as being unloved. It isn't. In fact, some of the most powerful, most divine moments of your life will happen in places no one else sees. And those are the places where God does his deepest work. Moses was hidden for years before he led the people. David tended sheep in silence before he ruled a nation. Even Jesus himself spent 30 quiet years before his 3 loud ones. Do not despise the hidden seasons, for they are sacred. Do not curse the waiting, for it is holy ground. Do not let your heart be troubled by what seems like a delay, for the God who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. Faithful, that's the word, that's the promise. That's the truth that holds when everything else falls away. He is faithful when you feel forgotten. He is faithful when your prayers seem unanswered. He is faithful when you don't feel strong enough to believe anymore. And when you can't hold on any longer, he holds you. So lift your head, sweet soul, dry your tears, let your heart hope again. You are not invisible. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned. You are deeply, unshakably, eternally loved. And though the world may forget your name, heaven never has. Though people may walk past you, God leans in. Though your voice may falter, he still hears you. And though you may feel lost, he knows exactly where you are. Right now, even in this moment, he is writing your name into the next chapter. Right now, he is opening doors you cannot yet see. Right now, he is planting miracles in the soil of your faithfulness. So don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. Don't stop waiting with expectation. For the God who sees sparrows when they fall and lilies when they bloom sees you too. He has not forgotten you, and he never ever will. Child, there is a light that shines deep inside you, a light that no darkness can put out, a flame that flickers even when the winds of life howl loud and mean. And that light, my dear, begins to burn brighter when you let go of worry and allow God to lead you. You may feel small. You may feel weary. You may feel like you've been standing at the edge of the Red Sea for far too long, waiting on dry ground to appear. But let me tell you, when you let God lead, you do not walk alone. You walk with divine confidence. Not the kind of confidence the world gives. No, not the kind puffed up by applause or praise or titles. I'm talking about a soul-deep assurance, a holy confidence, a quiet knowing that says, come what may, my feet are steady, my back is straight, and my heart is secure because God walks with me. When you let God lead, you are no longer tossed about by the tides of other people's opinions. You don't rise and fall with every whisper, every storm, every closed door, because you understand that your life is not in the hands of the world. It is in the hands of the Creator. And when your life is anchored in Him, you walk with a posture that says, I may not know the next step, but I know the one who holds the map. That's confidence, baby. That's what allows a woman to smile even when the bank account is low, because she knows God is her provider. That's what lets a man keep his head high even when he's misunderstood, because he knows the Lord sees his heart. That's what strengthens a child who's been rejected, abandoned, overlooked, to keep loving, to keep hoping, to keep pressing on. Because when you let God lead you, you start to see life through heaven's eyes, And oh, what a beautiful view that is. You begin to walk not with arrogance, but with assurance, not with pride, but with peace. Because God is not only beside you, He is before you, behind you, within you, and every step you take, He's already made a way. Now that doesn't mean you won't have trouble. Lord knows the road isn't always smooth. There will be days your knees tremble, nights when sleep escapes you, moments when you wonder if you heard Him right, if you made a mistake, if you've wandered too far. But even then, confidence in God doesn't shake. It whispers to your spirit, even here I'm not alone. Even now God is still leading, and if He brought me to it, He will bring me through it. That's the truth, child. That's the kind of confidence that lets you stare down giants, walk through fires, dance in the rain, and praise in the prison. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't come from a mirror or a medal. It comes from the Master. It's born not in applause, but in prayer. It's built in the quiet corners where you learn to lean on Him, trust in Him, depend on Him. You are strong because I sustain you. You are chosen, beloved, and called for such a time as this. That's what changes everything. You stop asking for permission to be bold. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop second-guessing the gifts God placed in your hands because you know who sent you. You know whose you are. You know who walks with you. And that makes all the difference. Confidence in God is not about having all the answers. It's about resting in the one who does. It's about trusting that even when you don't know what the future holds, you are held by the one who does. And when you start walking in that kind of faith, oh my, the world takes notice. Doors that once slammed shut begin to creak open. Chains that once bound you begin to break. Mountains that once loomed large begin to crumble at the sound of your praise. Not because of you alone, but because of who is walking with you. So don't be afraid to take that step. Don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to dream big, to speak truth, to love deeply, to stand tall. God has gone before you. The path is paved with His promise. The journey is marked with His grace. And His Spirit walks right beside you, whispering, "Keep going. I've got you. You're doing just fine." And even when you stumble, even when you take a detour, even when you sit down on the side of the road and cry for a while, He doesn't walk away. He doesn't shake His head or turn His back. He bends low, lifts you up, wipes your tears, and says, "Let's keep walking. We're not finished yet." That's the God who leads. That's the confidence you carry, so wear it like a crown. Let it shine in your eyes, in your voice, in your step. Let the world see what it looks like when someone stops depending on their own strength and starts depending on the divine. You'll glow with something that can't be bought. You'll walk in rooms and shift the atmosphere, not because you're perfect, but because you're surrendered. You'll speak, and healing will follow. You'll pray, and heaven will move. You'll love, and chains will break, because when God leads, everything changes. So go ahead, child. Take that step, lift your chin, square your shoulders, let your spirit rise like the morning sun. Because you're not just walking, you're walking with purpose. You're not just hoping, you're anchored in truth. You're not just living, you're living led by the Almighty. And with God before you, behind you, and within you, there is no force, no fear, no failure that can stop what He set in motion. Walk on, child. Walk boldly, walk freely, walk confidently. Because when you let God lead you, you walk in power, in peace, and in the fullness of your destiny.